welcome to Deep Dive. Today, we are uncovering a surprising secret. The key to making someone obsessed with you isn't about chasing or playing games. In fact, the fastest way to attract genuine interest is by completely shifting your focus away from them by becoming so engaged and fulfilled in your own life that attraction naturally follows. Stay tuned as we explore how embracing independence, mystery, and self-growth can transform your relationships and unlock a magnetic presence that others can't resist. If you are ready to stop chasing and start attracting effortlessly, this is the episode for you. What if I told you that the key to making him obsessed with you is to completely forget he exists? Sounds backwards, right? But there's a psychological reason why this works, and it's not what you think. This isn't about ignoring him or playing games. It's about something much deeper, reclaiming your own life in a way that naturally draws people toward you. When you understand this principle, you'll never need to chase anyone again. They will come to you, and they will stay. Let's do the analysis, why your current approach backfires. Most women make one critical mistake that pushes men away without realizing it. And you've probably done it this week. You respond to his text within minutes, every single time. You rearrange your Friday night plans the moment he suggests hanging out. You check his social media stories before checking your own messages. These behaviors feel natural when you like someone, but they create the exact opposite effect you want. We need to analyze what's actually happening in your brain and his brain during these interactions. This analysis reveals a fundamental truth about human psychology that most people ignore. When you're constantly available, constantly eager, constantly putting him first, you trigger something called psychological distance. His brain interprets your immediate availability as low value, even though that's not logical or fair. Think about how scarcity affects everything else in your life. The restaurant with a 3-month waiting list feels more special than the empty one next door. The designer bag that's limited edition creates more desire than the one that's always in stock. Your brain processes romantic interest the same way. When someone is always accessible, always free, always ready to drop everything, the perceived value drops dramatically. Neuroscience research shows that uncertainty triggers dopamine release in ways that certainty cannot. When lab rats received food pellets randomly instead of consistently, they became more motivated and engaged with the task. Their brains stayed alert, anticipating the next reward. When the reward became predictable, their interest declined rapidly. Your dating behavior follows the same pattern. Intermittent reinforcement creates stronger neural pathways than constant reinforcement. Analyzing your current patterns means getting honest about the difference between healthy interest and desperate pursuit. Healthy interest means you text him back when you see his message and you're free to respond. Desperate pursuit means you stop what you're doing to craft the perfect reply within 60 seconds. Healthy interest means you make time for him when your schedule allows. Desperate pursuit means you cancel your workout class, skip dinner with friends, or leave work early just to accommodate his last-minute suggestions. The specific behaviors that signal low value include responding to every text immediately, even when you're busy with important tasks, canceling your existing plans the moment he becomes available, always being the one to initiate conversations or suggest activities, posting social media content designed to get his attention rather than sharing what genuinely interests you, asking your friends to analyze his every word and action. These patterns reveal to him, and to yourself, that you have nothing important happening in your life, besides waiting for his attention. This analysis becomes the foundation for everything that changes next. When you understand that your eager availability actually works against you, you can start making different choices. When you realize that your brain chemistry and his brain chemistry both respond more strongly to uncertainty than to predictability, you can use this knowledge strategically. The difference between healthy attraction and unhealthy obsession comes down to 2 factors: mystery and independence. Healthy attraction maintains both of these elements throughout the relationship. You remain interesting because he doesn't know everything about your day, your thoughts, or your schedule. You remain independent because you have goals, friendships, and activities that exist completely separate from him. Unhealthy obsession eliminates mystery by oversharing and destroys independence by making him the center of your universe. Now that you understand what doesn't work, Let's design a completely different approach that works with human psychology instead of against it. Design. This is a blueprint for magnetic independence. The most attractive women all share one secret trait that has nothing to do with looks or personality. They possess something psychologists call internal validation. These women have built lives so compelling that romantic attention becomes just one pleasant addition rather than their primary source of happiness. Creating a strategic framework for genuine irresistibility requires designing your life around self-focus rather than other focus. This challenges everything you've been taught about relationships. Society tells you that showing more interest leads to better relationships, but the opposite proves true. When you shift your attention from pursuing someone else to pursuing your own goals, you create natural magnetism without manipulation or games. Internal validation means your sense of worth comes from your own achievements, growth, and satisfaction rather than from external approval. When you build a life so fulfilling that romantic attention becomes secondary, you operate from a position of abundance instead of scarcity. This shift changes everything about how you interact with others because you're no longer seeking something from them that you lack within yourself. Consider women who transform their dating lives by focusing entirely on personal goals and passions. One woman spent months obsessing over a man who gave her mixed signals. She checked his social media daily, analyzed his every text, and structured her schedule around his availability. Then she redirected all that energy into launching her photography business. Within 6 months, she had a waiting list of clients, a social media following of engaged photographers, and 3 different men asking her out regularly. The man she'd been chasing suddenly became much more interested when she stopped being available at his convenience. Another woman decided to train for a marathon after years of failed dating attempts. She joined a running club, traveled to races in different cities, and documented her training journey. Her social media went from desperate selfies hoping for likes to genuine content about her athletic progress. Men started approaching her at races through her running club and even sliding into her DMs asking about her training routine. She had accidentally created a life that naturally attracted people who shared her interests and admired her dedication. Designing your ideal life creates natural magnetism because it addresses 3 fundamental human needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Career ambition gives you autonomy and competence as you make decisions and master new skills. Social connections provide relatedness through meaningful friendships and community involvement. Personal growth combines all 3 as you challenge yourself, learn new things, and connect with like-minded people. These 3 pillars work together to create magnetic independence. Career ambition means you have professional goals that excite you beyond any relationship status. Social connections mean you have friendships and activities that fulfill your need for human connection without relying on romantic relationships. Personal growth means you're constantly evolving, learning, and challenging yourself in ways that make you more interesting over time. This approach isn't about becoming cold or distant, it's about becoming complete. When you're genuinely engaged with your own life, you bring more energy, passion, and interesting experiences to every interaction. People sense when someone has their own things going on versus when someone is waiting around for external validation. You can shift from external validation to internal confidence. Starting today by choosing one project that excites you more than any text message could. This might be learning a new skill, training for a physical challenge, starting a creative project, or building something meaningful in your community. The key is selecting something that genuinely interests you, not something you think will impress others. You have the blueprint. Now let's develop the specific skills to make it real. Development. Building your irresistible life. There's a specific daily routine that makes women naturally magnetic, and it takes less than 30 minutes. This routine involves dedicating 10 minutes each to 3 different areas of personal development every single day. The women who follow this pattern create lives so engaging that others naturally want to be part of their world. Turning the blueprint into concrete daily practices means focusing on activities that build genuine appeal rather than superficial attraction. Most people never develop true magnetism because they chase the wrong activities. They spend hours perfecting their appearance, crafting social media posts for maximum likes, or analyzing every interaction with potential romantic interests. These activities create temporary attention but don't build lasting appeal. Real magnetism comes from cultivating genuine interests that create natural confidence. This means choosing activities because they genuinely excite you, not because you think they'll impress others. Learning a new language opens your mind to different cultures and gives you something interesting to discuss. Taking cooking classes develops a practical skill, while connecting you with people who share similar interests. Training for a race builds physical strength and mental discipline. While introducing you to a running community, social connections outside romantic interests become crucial for developing a compelling life. Joining a book club exposes you to new ideas and creates friendships based on intellectual curiosity. Volunteering for causes you care about connects you with like-minded people while contributing to something meaningful. Taking art classes, joining hiking groups, or participating in professional networking events all create opportunities to build relationships that enrich your life independently of dating. Solo travel represents one of the most powerful ways to build confidence and create intriguing experiences. Planning a weekend trip to a nearby city, visiting museums alone, or exploring local hiking trails builds self-reliance and creates stories worth sharing. These experiences demonstrate that you can enjoy your own company and create adventures without waiting for someone else to join you. Developing multiple life areas creates natural conversation topics that intrigue others without effort. When you're actively learning photography, you have interesting projects to discuss. When you're training for athletic goals, you have progress to share. When you're building friendships through various activities, you have social experiences that demonstrate your ability to connect with different types of people. Physical and mental challenges build genuine self-respect and accomplishment that others can sense immediately. Completing a challenging workout, mastering a difficult skill, or pushing through a creative project creates internal satisfaction that translates into external confidence. These accomplishments become part of your identity rather than just things you do for attention. Documenting your growth journey on social media creates authentic content that draws people in naturally. Instead of posting selfies hoping for validation, you share genuine moments from your actual activities. Photos from your art class, videos of your cooking experiments, or updates about your fitness progress show others that you have a real life happening beyond your phone screen. These changes become visible to everyone in your life, not just romantic interests. Coworkers notice your increased confidence and energy. Friends see that you have new interests and experiences to share. Family members observe that you seem more fulfilled and less dependent on external validation. This shift affects every relationship and interaction you have. Choose 3 areas for growth and commit 10 minutes daily to each one, whether it's learning a skill, building fitness, or developing creative abilities. Consistency matters more than intensity. This daily investment creates compound results that build over time. You're building the foundation now. Let's implement this in your actual interactions. Implementation. The art of strategic presence. The women who never get ghosted follow one simple rule about communication that most people ignore. They respond with genuine enthusiasm when they're actually free to engage, not the second they receive a message. This creates a natural rhythm that keeps conversations interesting rather than predictable. Integrating your new mindset into real conversations means changing how you approach every interaction. Your communication style should reflect the fact that you have genuine activities happening in your life. When he texts you at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, you might not respond until 6 p.m. because you were actually in a meeting. At the gym, or focused on a project that matters to you, this isn't a calculated delay for manipulation. It's the natural result of living an engaged life. Many women fear that pulling back will make them seem uninterested or cause him to lose interest entirely. This fear drives them to respond immediately, share every detail of their day, and remain constantly available for conversation. But this approach creates the opposite problem. When you're always accessible, always eager to chat, always ready to drop everything for a text conversation, you signal that nothing else in your life takes priority over his attention. Specific communication strategies involve responding with enthusiasm, but not immediately when you genuinely have other commitments. Instead of sitting by your phone crafting the perfect response within minutes, handle your actual responsibilities first. When you do respond, share what you are actually doing, rather than pretending you were just sitting around. This might sound like responding to his dinner invitation with excitement about the restaurant choice, then mentioning that you just finished your evening run, or got home from your pottery class. Mentioning your busy life naturally requires authenticity, rather than performance. Instead of saying, "I've been so busy with work," which sounds generic, you share specific details about what you're actually doing. You might mention the new project you're excited about, the friend you had coffee with, or the book you're reading. These details create genuine conversation topics while demonstrating that your life has substance, beyond waiting for his messages. Being genuinely unavailable sometimes happens naturally when you're living your actual life. You can't respond immediately because you're in a yoga class, having dinner with friends, or working on something important. This unavailability creates intrigue because it's real, not manufactured. When you do reconnect, you have actual experiences to share rather than just asking about his day. Showing interest while maintaining independence means asking questions about his life while sharing your own adventures with equal enthusiasm. Instead of focusing all conversation on him, you create balanced exchanges where both people contribute interesting information. You ask about his work presentation and share details about your weekend hiking trip. You inquire about his family dinner and mention the cooking class you're considering. Your new lifestyle creates natural conversation topics that make interactions more engaging without effort. When you're actively pursuing interests, learning new skills, and building friendships, you always have something interesting to discuss. These conversations feel organic rather than forced because they reflect your genuine experiences and interests. This approach works on everyone in your life, not just romantic interests. Friends notice that conversations with you become more interesting. Coworkers see that you have engaging stories and experiences to share. Family members observe that you seem more fulfilled and less dependent on others for entertainment. You maintain the balance between showing interest and maintaining independence by matching his energy level while staying true to your actual schedule and priorities. This means reciprocating his enthusiasm without abandoning your commitments or pretending to be free when you're not. You're implementing the changes. Now, let's evaluate what's working and adjust your approach for maximum effectiveness. Evaluation, measuring your magnetic impact. You'll know this approach is working when you notice one specific change in how people treat you. They start seeking your opinion more often, asking about your weekend plans, and wanting to include you in their activities. This shift happens because you've become someone with interesting things happening, rather than someone waiting for things to happen. Completing the evaluation phase means assessing your progress and fine-tuning your approach for maximum impact. This involves tracking specific changes without becoming obsessed with measuring every outcome. The goal is understanding what's working while maintaining the core principle that brought you here in the first place. Your life became more interesting when you stopped focusing on getting attention and started focusing on deserving it. Common mistakes can derail your progress, especially when things get exciting. The biggest trap occurs when someone shows increased interest and you immediately revert to old patterns. You start responding to texts instantly again, canceling your plans to accommodate their schedule, and putting your personal goals on hold. This regression happens because the old behaviors feel familiar and the new ones require conscious effort until they become automatic. Tracking changes in your confidence involves observing how you feel in different situations, rather than relying on external validation. Notice when you feel comfortable being alone, when you stop checking your phone constantly, and when you genuinely enjoy your own company. Your social life improvements show up as having more invitations than you can accept, friends asking what's different about you lately, and feeling excited about your own plans rather than waiting for others to entertain you. Signs that your new approach is working include increased interest from multiple people who want to be part of your world. You might notice coworkers asking you to join their lunch plans, neighbors striking up conversations more frequently, and acquaintances reaching out to reconnect. Another crucial indicator is feeling less anxious about responses from others. When your phone dies during dinner with friends, you don't panic about missing messages. When someone takes longer to respond, you remain focused on your actual activities rather than analyzing their behavior. Adjusting your strategy based on results requires staying true to self-focus while refining your execution. If you notice you're still checking social media obsessively, limit your usage to specific times. If you're saying yes to every invitation because you're excited about being included, practice selective acceptance based on your genuine interests. The core principle remains constant, while the specific behaviors adapt to your circumstances. Long-term benefits extend far beyond romantic relationships into career advancement and better friendships. Colleagues notice your increased confidence and propose you for leadership opportunities. Friends appreciate that you bring energy and interesting experiences to gatherings, rather than just showing up to complain about dating. Your professional network expands as you attend events and join groups related to your genuine interests, rather than places you think you might meet someone. This mindset creates a positive cycle, where success builds more success across all life areas. Career achievements boost your confidence, which improves your social interactions, which creates more opportunities for both professional and personal growth. Your independence attracts people who respect your boundaries, leading to healthier relationships in every context. Mastering this approach transforms how you move through the world permanently, because it changes your fundamental relationship with yourself. You stop seeking completion from others and start creating it within yourself. True magnetic power comes from genuinely not needing anyone's attention, because your life is already complete. This evaluation phase never really ends because it becomes your new way of living, constantly growing and improving regardless of who's watching. Let's get to the conclusion. The most powerful realization is that you never needed to make anyone obsessed with you. You needed to become obsessed with your own life. This shift changes everything because it addresses the root cause rather than the symptoms. Instead of trying to manipulate someone's feelings, you create genuine magnetism through self-development. Challenge yourself to start today by choosing one area of personal development and committing to it regardless of romantic outcomes. Pick something that genuinely excites you and dedicate time to it consistently. When you stop chasing others and start chasing your dreams, the right people will naturally want to join your journey. Thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, the key to attracting the right people is to focus on becoming your best. Most fulfilled self, they'll be drawn to your confidence and independence. Naturally, keep nurturing your passions, stay curious, and trust that your genuine self is the most magnetic trait you can have. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on transforming your relationships and life. Stay curious, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video.